and welcome back. It's Orit here. So in this video, we're going to talk about thumbnails. So I'm first going to talk a little bit about why they are so important, and then we're going to touch upon what makes a good thumbnail. And I'm going to show you some examples as well from our channel. Now, having bad, poorly designed YouTube video thumbnails could really hurt your channel. There's a few reasons why having good thumbnails matter. So number one is that although your YouTube thumbnails don't affect YouTube's algorithm, like the ranking algorithm directly, what they do affect is the click-through rate. So when your video pops up in the search, so when someone's typing something in and your video is in the search results page, what they first see is the YouTube thumbnail for that video. And you want to make sure that you increase that click-through rate, meaning you want to make sure that you increase the likelihood that they'll click on that video, because YouTube really favors that. And once your video is getting more clicks, then that actually boosts your video up in YouTube's algorithm. So it kind of affects it indirectly. And those click-throughs matter the most within the 48 hours of you actually releasing that video. So that's one reason. Another reason is also you're competing against many other videos in the search results. So it's really important for you to find some sort of way to stand out, and the first thing that someone sees is the YouTube thumbnail. Then they'll typically look at the title and then the small text in the description. So let me just show you an example here. I'm going to type into the search just something like how to stay fit. Let's just see what comes up here. So you see here right away, it's the pictures that stand out the most. So when someone's looking here, they're going to look at the thumbnail first. So you got to think about what will capture that attention. And the second thing is they look over at the title to see if that's something they would want to watch, and then they'll click on it, right? They might read the description. So having a YouTube thumbnail that's going to capture attention, that's going to, really make somebody click on that video is your main goal. And it's done with having really great designed thumbnails. So what makes a good YouTube thumbnail? So let's go back to our channel here. I was thinking of doing like a comparison between bad thumbnails and good thumbnails, but I didn't want to put any other channels down. So I don't want to show anybody else's. I mean, it's also subjective too, right? In terms of what you gravitate to. But there are certain key things that that YouTube recommends, that TubeBuddy recommends, and that we recommend as well, that really help increase the likelihood that someone will click on that thumbnail. So the first thing is your colors. So you want to make sure that you have bright colors, or at least one color in there that's a bright color that's going to stand out. And you want to make sure that they contrast, so highly contrasting colors. So for us, we like this is our brand colors as well, is this purple and white, and they naturally contrast. So we use black, purple, and white. There's obviously so many different contrasting combinations of colors that you could use, but make sure they do contrast. You don't want to go with some sort of, like if we put these two colors together, like a light blue and then a light pink or a light green or something like that. You want to make sure you have a light color and a dark color so that you get that contrast. That's what's going to pick up attention. The second thing is make sure your text is readable. So make sure that it's not too small, because people are going to see your thumbnail from different devices. So you especially want to make sure that your text is loud and clear, that it's clear to read, first of all, in a clear font, and it's also big enough to read. So something like this, like with big, bold font, is really great. I'll show you an example of what not to do from one of our older thumbnails. So something like this is kind of hard to read. Like you barely see that it says $1,200 profit on the bottom there, because there's already black bar on there. So it's kind of hard to read. So again, you want to make sure that your text is on a contrasting color. If your text is black, put it on white. or if your text is a light color, put it on a dark color so that it's clear to read and it stands out. So the other thing too with text is to not put too much text on your thumbnail. So some people take their entire video title and put that in the thumbnail, but you want to use that thumbnail space wisely. You already have the title of your video in the search results there. When someone types something in, they'll see the thumbnail and the title, right? You'll already see the title there. So use your real estate space with that thumbnail in a better way. You can either take a shorter version of your title, something like this, where this video is called How to Add a Clickable Checkbox in PDF Using Adobe Acrobat Pro DC. We just put Add a Clickable Checkbox because that's relevant to what the video is. If someone's looking for how to do that, we want them to see that on the thumbnail first and foremost. So it could be a shorter version of your title, or it could be just a rewording of the title altogether, like just saying what the title says, but in a different way and with fewer words as well. All of these tips that I'm providing to you, they're ways of capturing attention in a very small amount of time, and you only have a very small amount of time when someone's browsing through all of the search results. So that's the point here. We want to make sure the thumbnail captures attention in those 3 seconds. Another tip that I can give you of what makes a good thumbnail is putting your face on it. So any sort of human face looking directly at the camera instantly captures attention. So there's been a ton of studies on, people being attracted to human faces, and even smiling and looking directly at the camera is the best way to capture attention. We naturally have professional photos of both Jewel and I, so whenever it's a video that Jewel films, we'll put the same picture of her on here, looking at the camera and smiling, and whenever it's a video that I've filmed, I'm looking directly at the camera, again here smiling. And so you can do the same, take a photo of yourself looking directly at the camera, smiling, and put that on your thumbnails. You can take a few photos, you can change it up if you want to. We like to use the same photos here, also for branding purposes, which I'll get to that in a second. But having a photo of you in the thumbnail is much better than just having some sort of design with text on it. So try to incorporate you looking at the camera, an image of you right on your thumbnail. Tip number 4 is to have some sort of consistent feel amongst all of your thumbnails. So have some sort of colors or fonts, use colors, fonts, shapes that are consistent with your brand. You want to make sure that every single thumbnail is different, obviously, but that if you look at all of them as a whole, it's all consistent within one brand. And the reason for that is if somebody stumbled upon your video before and they continue to see like the same sort of feel, the same sort of thumbnail design, then that ties into familiarity, and the more someone has seen something before or is more familiar with that kind of thing, they're more attracted to it and it captures more attention. So make sure that you still have some sort of consistent feel. Like you see here, we use the same font pretty much on all of our thumbnails. We have our colors, black, purple, and white. We have a picture of us and some sort of, this is what ties in every single thumbnail. It's the colors, the text, the picture of us, and then some sort of image or diagram or icon that is relevant to that specific video. And we go to pixabay.com typically, or flaticon.com for our images. Those are royalty free, and so that's the kind of formula that we use for every single thumbnail. And you can see here that looking at everything as a whole, it's all tied together. It's all, you can tell that it's within the same sort of brand. All of these videos that you see here, those are our live streams, so we don't typically have a thumbnail for those. We just kind of really just choose a frame from the video and then just leave that up there. So you can mix it up in that way too. And the last tip that I will give you here is also if you can create some sort of movement in your design, that would be also good to capture attention. So what I mean by movement is that try not to always have your text and your images and everything perfectly lined up and all straight. You want to maybe play around with angling some of the font or angling an image or using arrows to point to something. That's what I mean by movement. It kind of captures more attention in that way. This goes into the psychology of design, but really simple. All you need to do is just kind of tilt your text or tilt some image that you're using in your thumbnail to create more of that movement in the design. If you're really working on growing your YouTube channel, we do have a couple courses that you might be interested in. We have one course on how to grow your YouTube channel, how to start and grow your YouTube channel, and it's a full mega course with a whole bunch of stuff in there on what you can do to grow your channel. We also have a separate online course that's specifically on how to rank your videos using a tool called TubeBuddy. So if you're really working on getting your videos ranked higher in the search engines, that you might want to check out that course. I'll put the links down in the description below. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.